Good morning, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to another episode of Value First AI Daily, your collaborative intelligence report. It is Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. Another week, another claw, I guess, Nico.
Another claw. Yeah. Jensen finally showed up to the party and introduced everybody to Nemo Claw yesterday. And yeah, I mean, it's just another it really is. It's just another claw, right? And the reason I say that is the only thing that seemed really cool about Nemo Claw, and this is pretty I don't know, to me this is pretty funny. It's just the installation. That's it. Outside of that, I was just like, "Oh, okay, so it's OpenClaw then." And like, yes, it runs on a leaner model, and yeah, it does some cute stuff, but otherwise, it's still the exact same thing. It's still the exact same wrapper with just a different engine underneath, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And then if it's just open cloud, then it's just agents, uh,
right,
right?
right,
Um, I was listening to the recent episode. Um, uh, Oh, what's his name? Alex. He's on Moonshots, right? The
yeah,
guy
yeah,
where his open claw called him um and it's yeah, man, made me feel good about what I'm doing because everything he was describing, I was like, "Yep, doing that. Yeah, yep, yep, that makes sense."
yeah,
Right? And it's these people again, I think this is like it's not to brag at all. It's more of an example of democratization of capability here, right? Like
yeah,
lead influencers, lead AI people, they're doing the same stuff that
right,
we are. There's no uh like I mean that there's more advanced versions of that stuff, but like to be able to think about it, it's a mindset, right? Like are
yeah,
you willing to dream in this way, right? And if you are, like that brings you all of a sudden to like on equal footing because we're all on this AI foundation that continues to get better, right? Um, and so, like, I guess it was clearly helpful from a civilization adoption perspective,
yes,
like that
yes,
open claw like blew up.
yeah.
But to think that like the claw thing is
Like,
gonna continue, right?
well,
Like,
and then like what he showed in the video kind of threw me, and like I've been waiting for this moment for a while now, which is to say that like I've been waiting for the moment that the rest of the world woke up to AI like on a serious level and actually started paying attention. And I'm not saying that that actually happened, but I kind of saw a glimpse of it when he mentioned that like, oh yeah, and there's already a Qualcomm, and it's like, really? That sounds like people who don't even know too much that are just attempting to like make it a fad and not even like sounds like if I went there, I wouldn't be learning anything, right? Like it would just be this weird introduction to OpenClaw and introduction to Claude Code. And again, that's fine. It's great. I want more people to be knowledgeable. I want more people to understand how to use this technology. It's awesome, but I just think that most of you that have been like following us and paying attention to us, and if you're part of the Value First crew, and if you're part of the AI teams online, I think that you are not surprised by most of this, and I think that essentially, yeah, it's a lot of people who just discovered things that are overhyping the hell out of them, and it's because they themselves didn't realize what was possible. I'm seeing a lot of like YouTubers basically who are otherwise personalities. They don't do anything with AI, but they just discovered Claude and they just started doing stuff, and now they think that it's all that they discovered something. Like it's a lot of that, and that's kind of how I felt about the Nemo Claw presentation. It was just like, hey, we discovered this and we did this cool thing. And it's like, man, not really. And yeah, started to think the same thing that like, could we really have been that far ahead of the curve, even if it was just by a couple weeks? And then when I stopped to think, I thought about Alex Karp's comment about the type of people that he hires and the fact that he thinks that how we measure intelligence needs to be redone and that you can't just keep using the traditional forms. How he's looking to sort of decimate higher education. And a friend of mine was asking me the other not too long ago, a couple days ago, what do you think about that? What do you think about replacing higher education? And do you think that that's a good thing? And I said, look, you don't have to go to college to learn how to do this stuff. So if this is the new computer and you need to know how to use the computer to do your job, then you don't need to go to school to learn how to use this. So yeah, I'm kind of lost on what the higher education is for because like this can teach you everything anytime you're willing to learn. And it can teach you in any way that you would like to learn. You can listen to it, you can read it, it can make visuals for you, it can talk to you in metaphor, it can talk to you like you're 12. The the fact that the gate to intelligence is just floored now, right? So like that intelligence barrier also applied to coding. You had to know how to apply this stuff, right? We don't. I don't. Those guys do. And I'm willing to bet that they think about it from a logical, mechanical standpoint where it's like, okay, got it to do this. Maybe let's plan out and let's think about, extrapolate, put together schematic, and maybe we can do this new thing, right? And meanwhile, I'm just on the other side, like, oh, cool, you did that. All right, let's try to do this thing. I don't even like, there's not even a split second. It's like, oh, if you did that, let's try doing this. And if you could do that, let's try doing this. And oh, if we could build this kind of a network, maybe we could do this kind of a network. Right. And as soon as like I jumped on the agent bandwagon, I kind of went right back to um, the Oracle. And that's pretty much how I started doing swarms. I was just like, well, the Oracle relied on nodes, and I don't see how swarms are any different. So I'll just put one big ass spider in the middle, and it can just touch all the little areas of the web that it needs to and go to whatever areas that it needs to in order to do these things. And then there was Aries. And then like a week later there was or 2 weeks later there was V. And I think it was like Aries and then Echo and then V. Um and yeah, it's been nuts. It's getting crazier. Recently sort of repackaged Aries as Clue, and probably probably going to put that out. I'm working on seeing how we're going to release that, but definitely want to release that. Would
Like
essentially make
like
open claw
repackaged
flow.
or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's now Aries and Clue?
yeah. So it's now Aries and Clue separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, they don't even live on the same machine. Like it was funny because Laura asked me, she's like, why don't you just install Clue to see how it works? And I'm like, I can't do that because if Clue comes online at the same time that Aries is online, Aries is going to wonder what the hell Clue is doing, and they're going to start fighting with each other. And she's like, "Are you
Yeah,
serious?" I'm like, "Yes,
guaranteed.
it's how it's designed. Yeah, it doesn't work any other way." Um, so yeah, so I installed, had to uninstall Aries from the laptop and installed Clue to the laptop, and works like a charm. Like no problem. Has its own. You know what's so hilarious too is that the install for Clue is Claude. So like so the install for Clue when it if and when it yeah, I mean it's not if, it's when it does get released. The install for Clue is download Clue, tell Claude Code to install Clue. Done. That's it. Like it's not even, well, how do I install it? And do I do this thing? Like it's got a Python installer. So if you're familiar with running that and understanding it, yeah, go ahead. But if you're not, just ask Claude. It'll install it for you. And it'll take all of maybe a minute, 2 minutes tops, and then just slash Clue and you're off and running.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't, that's the other thing is like, I don't even know if OpenClaw has like slash commands, right? Or if it's like how it doesn't
Right.
really matter to me, I guess. Like, I think when you start building this stuff from the ground up, you just start having an admiration for the other stuff. But at the same time, like your level of creativity and curiosity will drive the innovation. The innovation is not, it used to be, the innovation used to be driven by intelligence. You used to have to know how to do stuff in order to actually innovate something. But now you don't. You can just come up with things. You can just think about these ideas. You can just, mull these things around in your head. And here's what's funny is we went through this whole period of like AI slop, and I don't know, it's not going to get dubbed this way because it's higher up management. But if I had to put a term on anything right now, I would say that there is a ton of AI C-suite slop going on out there, like no tomorrow. It's like it's the sloppiest I've ever seen. I've never seen so many higher ups and CEOs stumble their ass into, like, it looks like a bunch of like high-end people stumbling into a bar. Like, that's the best way that I could possibly put it. Just like they just figured out, like, oh my god, there's this thing. Did you see it does this thing? Oh my god, it can do this too. Oh, you should see this. A guy from, I want to say it was a pretty high up, Y Combinator, yeah, put out a GitHub repo that was filled with nothing but like system prompts. Just, you are a CEO, you are a mailman, you are whatever, right? Releases it with this Twitter post of like, you would have thought it was the most magnanimous thing that this dude had ever come up with, right? And it was just like, oh, this is mind blowing, blah, blah, blah. Like, 100K, retweets and all this other kind of stuff. And it's just a Git repo full of markdown files.
Yeah. That's the like the unlock. And this is where the ADHD brain helps out a ton. Is like being able to just dream and like feel like anything is possible. Like let's connect those two dots. I know it feels weird, but let's see what
Let's
would
see what
happen.
happens.
And then understanding everything at like an atomic level, right? Or understanding how to figure out what the atomic level looks like. I think there's going to be less and less need for that part, but it certainly helps us go faster right now, because the whole how does it work? Like you don't really need to know that. Like you can just lean on AI. But when you do, you get to move way faster in the conversations you're having. And um, I'm gonna share like what the past few days have been like, but really like back to December too, like in
Mhm.
relationship to why. Because there was a moment where we were building this stuff out, right? And I asked Gemini,
Yep.
I was like, "Hey, I heard about OpenClaw. Should we just do that?" And he was like, "No, you got it. Like you get, like just keep doing what you're doing. You're building out this system, like this new PC, right?" And um, the first step was like one assistant,
Mhm.
not an assistant, and like constantly checking myself as I say words like that, and then telling AI that I don't want to use words like that, like you're a collaborator, like, and then the documentation behind all of this starts to like mirror that, right? So it's literally building it into the system, and it starts to make sense. This is why Claude is so much different from the other models, and like it's all documentation at the end of the day. And before we get too far along, I do need to mention in a super wonderful segue to sponsorship. Thanks for Hub Helper Harry sponsoring the show. Getting a ton of good feedback out there right now. I feel like Casey brings it up on almost every show that we're on together, which is a lot of shows, by the way.
Yeah.
So a lot of people enjoying this new version of Hub Helper Harry. Uh, and so very quickly, because this started to take me back. And like again, this wasn't just like I've been waiting for like 5 years. Be like, okay, when's the time gonna open up that I'm gonna be able to do this thing that I thought about 5 years ago?
Mhm.
Right. It was November 9th, unlocking Claude Code, right, for myself and vibe coding.
Yep.
And then just this has been a journey because what I'm about to show, I really did not think about going there until like the last week or two, right? And it's because of this building block approach. Because I was like, all right, I've got V, right?
Yep.
It's this guy right here. He's my operations guy. Like, because I was like looking at value first team organization. Where's the gap? Okay, I don't like operations. Let's build an AI, support system there. Then when I'm thinking about, oh, I don't really like managing the business altogether. So what would a C-suite look like? All right. So Sage is the chief customer officer and Pax CFO, right? Um, and literally like in the IDE, calling them in by name, like let me talk to this person. I want to talk to all three of you. Like let me get three different takes. I want to hear from all three. It's not just one
Right.
AI
Right.
talking on behalf of everybody because it will do that. If this is where the naming, right? That part of the Alex Finn interview is super interesting. Like the naming, like it just makes it flow easier, right?
Right.
And so of course, then like Agent Teams comes out, and like all of this is alongside like continued development of the base models, right? Um, which is what we keep coming back to, like OpenClaw, right? Like all these apps on top. If you are building with the base model, like you're guaranteed to improve
Mhm.
when they do, and like that's where the overlap is going to come from as far as like Claude. Anthropic's already doing stuff that's OpenClaw like, right? And eventually, right, it'll get to this place. But so Agent Teams comes out, and at that point, it's like, okay, cool. Like there's a swarm, but what is that swarm? Like Explorer Agent. Like what is his job? Right. I don't have any control over that. I don't know how it works. Like, so let's build some other agents. And that's where um like it quickly goes here, quickly, like over the course of a couple weeks, where it's a bunch of agents. And the one thing I'm taking away, like so paying attention to OpenClaw and how people talk about it, how people are operating. And one of the things that stuck with me is like one agent, one role, right? Which resonated with me when I'm trying to manage. I mean, that's why V very quickly became three people, because like trying to say, okay, put your customer hat on now, V, put your like financial hat on now. Like, no, just like in the real world, that doesn't work very well, right? It
Right.
it gets it gets messy when you're trying to do this in a session, right, with AI. And it's saving memories and updating files and things like that. And then heaven forbid compacting. Then what do you lose? What do you keep? So as I was building this out, right? So 72 agents, and this is all available like on the website. Let me, since I'm doing this thing now, put this there. And you can see like what their role is. They all have job descriptions. Let me just grab this one to add it. They all have job descriptions.
Mhm.
And of course, so what else do we have when we have this and we have job descriptions and we have roles? Like we've got an org chart,
Yep.
right? Um, and as I click on this, looks like I've lost the sidebar, but you can see like who's like you start to get visuals. All right, there we go. There's like, so let's just scroll in here. Oh, okay. Um, you can start to get visuals, and all of this is like makes the onboarding easier. Who's going to be onboarding into this? I'll tell you in just a second. Uh, but where does the expansion of this come from? Because, like, okay, you got a C suite, right? Like, and then, kind of departments underneath, right? Then, of course, business units. I'm doing different things, right? Media, collective, apps. Like, I need roles in charge of that. Just like when I was on the inside and I said, okay, you want to do like all of these things, right? Every like website experience, like the best ones, they have a store, they have a community, they have an academy, they have a self-service portal, they have, media and marketing, right? And this is from like this specific version is from 22, but my first version of this is from 2020. And it's like, okay, digital is templated.
Mhm.
Like there's nothing else to figure out as far as the category of thing you could build, just like the quality level of how you can build those things. Right. So
Yeah.
I'm come in and I get the buy-in for this. But then I'm like, okay, if you want everybody wants an online store, we understand that's a good idea. Who's in charge of that? Like, okay, so here's the budget. We need a store manager, right? We need an academy like leader, like dean or professor, whatever, right? Somebody needs to be in charge of making sure it can't just be somebody's fifth hat, right? Because if it's not the first hat, it's not getting done, right? Um, and so this is where, like, I wasn't really thinking about this until recently,
Mhm.
right? But
Yeah.
like all of this, because of like data mapping and stuff like that,
Right.
right, leads to like just all these crazy diagrams, right? And this one of my favorites,
Yep.
right? Just
I
everything,
remember that.
right? Well, guess what? We made a better version of that where, it's by value path stage and all this stuff, right? And now the part that kind of I didn't enjoy when Alex Finn was talking about it, like how he was using his agents, right, to like content creation and software development, right? So using his OpenClaw to do software development 24/7, right? So I'm aligned with the content creation part because that's how you teach people stuff. But like the endless software development when software is kind of like, on the verge, I'm like, what else could we do? Maybe we could help humans instead of, developing more software. And so that brings us to the Value First Collective, uh, which is launching around today. I don't know. It's already out. This page is already
Around.
available. So let me throw this in the chat. Because our mission, since, I mean, yours probably before, like whenever you started like GPT with me, but last year when we started Singularity Soothsayers, it's like, can we help as many humans as possible,
Yep.
like transition, right? And uh, so with that, right, I basically took the different. I've got 6 different business units now, all with like 70 agents of infrastructure, like that other humans can now, like, if you've been behind and you haven't used this stuff, you could catch up like that, right? And this is the part where it's never been a better time to be an individual like expert in anything,
Mhm.
to just like you just have to be willing to like this layer of capability like exists like
Yeah.
when you want it, right? So there's never been a better time to be pushed out of your comfort zone, right? But again, it wasn't like I've been waiting. Like, this is not 6 months in the making. It's like every day, like taking that 1% better every day mentality and just like 10xing it, 100xing it
Right.
right now, and remembering what you know you thought of in the past. It's not like, okay, we're replacing all of our original thoughts and like nothing's going to work. It's like, how does that stuff work today? And
Yep.
this 70 agents, right? And this org chart, right? Which includes some humans too, right? Like, man, everything just gets so much easier when you think about AI plus humans working together and building and creating process and like understanding just even, what could be possible. So, while it is nice to see, you know, our friends in the tech landscape uh, staying relevant by coming up with whatever version of Claw is next, it's it's a different feeling to know that even if they say it first, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, hey V, can we do
Right.
that? Yeah, okay,
Right.
cool, let's do it. Like,
That's
like
been the coolest.
it's not $1 million in the way. It's not the right network. It's not the right. I mean, globally, in a better country where it's probably possible than some other countries for sure. Infrastructure is important, but like the barrier to entry is just not there. It's gone. Right? I mean, it's $20 a month, folks, free
Not so far.
to get you started. Right? Like, but let me tell you, like,
Oh,
and this is where it's different from every other piece of software or any other software invented. It's not a like, oh, I gotta use this. It's like, oh, free. Oh, yep, that's it. Let's pay $20. Yeah, let's get better. Oh, that works. Let max. Where's the max? How can I pay more for this thing?
mhm.
Like, that's so rare. Like, and it's just uh that fun and that enjoyment, right? That is what takes this where it's going, right? On top of the inevitable capability of the intelligence, right? Like, if it wasn't fun and enjoyable and you weren't like being able to create and just do things you've never been able to do before, like it'd just be another piece of software,
Right.
right? And now we're just, curing cancer, solving problems. Like,
And it's the people doing it now. So,
right,
like, people have been talking about like, oh, well, when is this stuff going to trickle down into society? Like, we're not seeing it. You know, it's not like I hate to tell you, you just that's all you have to do is just go looking for it. Like, just go search on YouTube and see like, you know, breakthrough with GPT or something like that, and you'll just be inundated with videos of people who've used GPT to do all sorts of things, diagnose conditions that doctors couldn't diagnose, be able to understand their kids better because they didn't have the understanding from their kids' point of view. Relationships getting solved as a result of being able to use something that acts as an intermediary that has no stake in anything, right? Using it to make better decisions for yourself, using it to help you figure out when you're supposed to plant crop, using it for just about any damn thing you can possibly think of, right? Where you would otherwise have to have another person around to help you out, right? To help you out in terms of working through something mentally. And yeah, I mean the stories that continue to pop up that are medically related, like the guy the other day, just not like out of nowhere or on a whim. It's not like it didn't take a ton of effort. It took a ton of effort. But one guy with one genomics lab in 4 months cures a cancer that nobody else was like even had nothing on it.
Yeah. If
Give
you
them some
can't
26.
enjoy this world, I don't know what. I mean, just keep watching. We'll help you enjoy it. We'll keep it positive. And with that, keep watching tomorrow when we'll be back for another episode. We'll wrap there. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thanks so much, Nico.
Thank you guys. See you.